Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of The Legend of Zelda: The Wind Waker. Today we are continuing to play the Tower of the Gods, the third and a half main dungeon. It gets confusing, right? Like, is the Forsaken Fortress a dungeon? Um, and like it's tough. Like, I think technically, like Dragon Rouge Cavern is like the first major real dungeon, but it does make it hard to like number your list. Oh, I love Dark Nuts. Let's go. I've been so excited for this. I love the combat in this game, man. It's so like, um, how do I put this? Like, I mean, I'm wailing on this Dark Nut. I got no issues here, but like, it's I love how like mobile the combat is. Right? It's very like velocity driven. Characters move and push each other around. Um, I don't know. Like, even if it's like it's relatively simple, but like you have to parry and get your timing right. And that gets complicated when there's like five dark nuts in a room, right? Or like Shark Island where there's like a bunch of moblins, a bunch of dark nuts. So really, like when they start throwing a bunch of enemies at you at once, it becomes like a really fun like challenge to evade attacks. Knight's Crest, let's go! Ba da da da. Keep it in your spoils bag. All who are skilled in the ways of the sword know the value of a crest such as this. True, true. All right, what could be in here? I love the floor pattern too. Really nice. Let's go with the hero's bow. Set it to Y, Z, or X, then use it with the button you've set it to. Hold the button to knock an arrow and release the button to shoot. You can carry up to 30 arrows. Now, for me, the bow and arrow has always been an X item. This says a lot about it. Let's go through all the items real quick. Telescope, that's Y. If I'm going to use it, I use the Y button. Sail, if I use it, it's going to be X. Wind Waker, that's a Y item. I'm going to use the Y button. Grappling hook, that's a Z item all the way. Spoils bag, it doesn't really matter. Either of these I can use, either Y or X. Boomerang, that's a Y item. Hero's bow, that's X. Bomb is Y. Deku Leaf is X. Tingle Tuner, doesn't really matter. Pictobox is X for me. Bottles, usually Y. Doesn't really matter. Anyway, this says a lot about a person. Comment down below whether you agree with that assessment, because I do feel like I feel like there are right button mappings for those items for me. Like, it's a preference thing, but it's like for me it's like it makes sense. All of those button mappings like make sense for my fingers. And that's true for a GameCube controller or a Switch controller. Now it's like it's different because those buttons like are shaped the same now on like modern controllers. But back in the day, when we played this game on the GameCube, it's like X, A, B, Y, Z, like they were all super different. And Z is still like the trigger is still unique, but my point still stands. The point still stands. It's time to grapple. A lot that I'm grappling with right now. Excuse me, y'all. I love this game. I'm just having fun. If y'all don't know, I run a YouTube page where it's called Wind Waker Unflooded. It's a 3D modeling fan art project where I am remaking Hyrule as it could have existed within the world and art style of The Legend of Zelda: The Wind Waker. So that's part of why I've been replaying this game, is because it's like I've had to be familiar with the world of the Wind Waker, and it's been a while since I've done a playthrough of this game. It's been over a year, I think. I'm pretty sure. So it's like that's long enough that like I've been doing so much on this fan project that like I feel like I've started to lose sight of like details around the game. And like a year is not a long time, right? Like there's other Zelda games that like I feel like I've played recently, but it's been like over 5 years. Twilight Princess is still so fresh in my mind, and I haven't played it since before the pandemic. And that's a game I'm itching to replay, and I think I'll probably break down just because it's been so long since I've done a playthrough. Um, that's one of my favorite Zelda games. It might be like, to me, Twilight Princess might be the best overall Zelda game. It's not my favorite. Wind Waker is my favorite Zelda game. It means so much to me, and I think it's great. Like, what I'm saying? Like, this is interesting, the texture mapping here, because it's like different on different sides. Like it almost lines up with the shape of the stairs, but I don't know. It's interesting because you would think like the lines would be on like the borders of the geometry, but they're not quite. They are for a couple and not for all. Excuse me. That's interesting. Just like this game is like its art style is more forgiving than you think it is. If you haven't heard that yet, like I think that's just the truth. Um, and I just think that's cool. So anyway, let's go to the next room. Let's go. Let's see what's over here. Ah, yes, the scales of justice. Um, let's see. Do we want to? Let's go ahead and get all the rooms. I think this is just a joy pendant room, but like that's still worthwhile. Now watch and learn. I know I usually said X for the Deku Leaf, but because I have the bow as X, I'm gonna use the Deku Leaf on Z. Forgive me. So, come on, man. You're not watching me suck to a bubble. That's not what's happening. There we go. Phew, I don't know why that was so difficult. Come on, I'm gonna waste all my arrows. This is harder than it looks, guys. That's okay. Can I make it? Oh yeah, look at that. Parkour, parkour, let's go. Let's go. All right, let's get the chest. Oh, it's a small key. I had to do this room. Excuse me. I forgot if this was completely optional or not. I think there is a joy pendant in that chest. And I actually don't need that. I actually don't. So, this Deku Leaf hack was something, like, I don't know how I figured that out, but it's like I didn't do that for a long time. And then I realized, like, I don't have to go from platform to platform. I could just jump and, as long as I'm mostly accurate. Do I need to do this too? Oh, that's how that happens. I was like, that's how you spawn the chest. I see. I'm not gonna get it though. I'm gonna walk away from it. Are y'all gonna be mad? Are y'all gonna be mad that I did that? Is it gonna like frustrate you that I'm walking away from a chest that like I could have gotten? Hee hee. No, not keys. Not while I'm climbing a ladder. Come on, man. That's the worst time. I can't fight back. One day Zelda games are gonna. Come on. One day Zelda games are gonna let us fight while we're climbing a ladder. Like, come on. It's just like just add an extra animation. Give me the B button. Like, come on. Hate this game. Anyway, let's do this and get that ready. As I've said, it's like when I have like an item equipped that like I don't want to unequip, like I will change the button mappings for like other items, even if I have other preferences. That just kind of makes sense to me. I probably didn't have to like put 2 statues on it. Come on, y'all made me mess up my timing. You bats, come on, you geese. Come on, I'm just trying to live life here. Here we go. Nice. Let's go. All right, what's in here? I probably could have used those arrows. Ooh. All right. Or do these only come alive after the? Okay. Okay. Let's do this. The Wind's Requiem. Yep, there goes the enemies. You heard that? I love the sound design of this game, man. Okay, let's go. Let's go. That's a perfect cycle. Armos Knights. Let's go. Got them all. Got them all. Got them both. Phew. Did they drop just bombs? Oh, bombs and these things. I don't know what to call these things. These orbs. I'll call them orbs. They're not really orbs because they're flat circles, right? Or are they? Are they billboarded sprites? Maybe that implies that they're supposed to be a sphere. I always kind of saw them as like discs, like records. But maybe they are supposed to be like, because I guess it's like has this kind of portal aesthetic. So maybe that is like the point of the design. I think it's a really cool like item, right? Like, I mean, because it's yeah, I definitely think it's supposed to be spherical. I just kind of always read it as like being like a disc that like just kind of just followed the eye, right? But I guess it is like a ball. Interesting, like the bombs, right? Interesting. Well, always thought those were interesting because right, it's like a pocket in space, I guess, where just all these other little things exist. That's cool. Wind Waker just has cool stuff, right? Like, I guess that's the thing, is we can talk about the story and the aesthetics and the dungeons, like all the stuff that you can compare it with other Zelda games. But, like, Wind Waker just also has its own things that are like, that's cool. And it's like, it's hard to talk about it because you can't really talk about it in comparison to other Zelda games, and a lot of the conversation around like Zelda is like, you have tier lists and ranking games, and it's like, which has the better hook shot, and like what dungeons are the best in the series, and you compare them to each other. I do think that like it's tough sometimes because there's dungeons that like if you compare the dungeons of Ocarina of Time or Twilight Princess to Wind Waker, like the dungeons are just different and they have different priorities, and so to compare them is kind of like it's not missing the point, but it is like Wind Waker has its own strengths, and so it's like just saying that like, well, it doesn't do X Y Z as good as those games. I'm like, well, it does other things, you know. That's the thing. Let's do this. Think I can make it? Whee! Easy. Easy. All right, join me, my friend. Come down. Come down. Join me. All right. Now let me take control of you. This one's ears. Was that not right? Did I play it wrong? I must have missed a note. It happens, guys. It happens to the best of us and the worst of us, actually. It happens to all of us and the mid tier. All right, let's go through the laser beam. I love the sound design for that, like the, and like they look great. Like it's a simple like effect, right? And I guess like that's something I love is like I feel like Wind Waker's design is like a lot of it is relatively simple, but it's still effective. It doesn't need these crazy particle effects all the time, even for something that like in another game would use them. All right, come on. I was trying to roll away and it didn't let me. All right, let's go. Where is it? I'll get you. Nice. I love that. Like, I guess that's the first time you're really encouraged to like lock onto an enemy with your bow. So that's nice. That's good stuff right there. Oh, come on. Yeah, I'm a master. You thought you could trick me. I love that because that's just all like physics based. I mean, like I'm sure it's cheating the physics a little bit. There's like code about like how much is on, like, the weight, you know, etc. Oh, come on. Does that reappear? Okay, cool. I wonder what does it look like when I do that? No. Oh, come on. Like the whole point was that I wanted to see what it looked like when it dropped into the water, and come on. I'm just wasting time now. I want to see it reappear. I want to see like if there's any kind of effect or if it just like is there. You know what I'm saying? Um, so let's find out. Let's try this again. Okay. So this is by this pillar. Let's keep visuals on it. I'm gonna toss it here. Yeah. Oh, there's like a scaling effect. I think. Right? Like let's take a look. Yeah, it like scales and like goes into place. That's cool. That's cool. Come on, like I'm trying to get it right. Should I jump with it? Is that gonna make it easier? Come on, come on. I'm sorry y'all have to see this. I'm a good gamer, I swear. I swear I'm a good gamer. Come on. Oh man, this is embarrassing. Let me struggle with this child's game. Okay, here we go. It's fun for all ages. Let me be clear. Like Wind Waker's definitely like general audience. Most Zelda games are right. Like I wouldn't call them, you know, like I think they're made with like availability for kids in mind. Like it's like if it's your first game, like you won't struggle with it too hard. I think most Zelda games are really friendly for new players, of all ages. I really feel that way. But they're also like rewarding for returning players, and I think that's hard to do consistently. And I think that's just why it's always just like there's always kind of a split in the fan base when it comes to like, do people feel like this game is made for them, and like maybe they grew up with the series, but the series changes in different ways, and it's always gonna be tough, right? Because like these games are like we grow up and our opinions change and what we want from games change and we want them to grow up with us and get harder, right? And it's tough when we go back and it's like, well, this game was, you know, like it was great when I was a kid, but now I'm not a kid anymore. Is the series still great? I think Zelda's unique because like as a whole, like it works. Like you keep coming back to it and it's like it is fun for all ages, continuously. I think that's really cool. That like that's a really hard balance to strike. Mario does this too. I think that's part of why those games are all great. Um, as a whole. There may be exceptions here and there, um, but I can't think of one off the top of my head. Like generally, it's like I feel like all like Mario and Zelda both do really good jobs of like, they're available for kids, but like if an adult plays them, it doesn't feel like you're being talked down to. Maybe there's like a tutorial section where you're like, well, okay, I know all of this already, but that's the difference, right? That's the only thing. Like other than that, it's like, well, this still feels really accessible, and it doesn't feel like it's talking down to you. I think that's what I think that's what like made me fall in love with Zelda was that this was, as a kid, like you are constantly being talked down to. Um, so it's not just like, like whether you're an adult or a child, like you don't want someone infantilizing you, right? You want to be like, like, well, give me a chance. Let me do it myself, right? Like, I want to feel empowered. Like that's good. Um, as an adult, you don't want to be treated like a kid, but even when you're a kid, like maybe you want to be taught how it's done, but there's a certain point where like you're like, all right, well, like let me try it on my own. Um, and I feel like Zelda games have been just really good about like they, even like the ones that feel handholdy. Generally, like the series does a good job of like not being handholdy. Um, like the only difference is just like if the quest design is super linear. I think that's a thing, or like if the companion characters like are too interrupty. But as a whole, like that hasn't been a huge issue in the series. Like maybe Navi will like pipe up every now and then in Ocarina of Time, or Fi will pipe up a lot in Skyward Sword. Um, but like other than that, it's like it doesn't feel like, I don't know. The game doesn't feel like it's like um, trying to I don't know. You know what I'm saying? Like it doesn't feel like a game long tutorial. Like the game opens up and just trusts that you can figure things out, right? And that's the fun of the game is figuring things out, and like there's puzzles that you have to solve, and you have to be smart enough on your own to figure it out. Oh yeah, let's go. I love the outside segments in these dungeons. I think does every dungeon except for the sage dungeons have that? I think so. Or there's some kind of like portion where you can see the sky. Excuse me, sorry if there's a slight pause there. Yeah, I just love that like Dragon Rouge Cavern has like the exterior section with the stairs. Um, Forest Haven has the boss key room, I think. You fight like moblins in that room, and it's like not maybe not technically completely outside, but like the sky is exposed, so you can see a little bit of the sky in every dungeon besides the Sage dungeons. And I think just because those are underground, right? It's like story wise, it wouldn't make sense. And I wish like that that there would have been some kind of outdoor section because story wise, like the Sage dungeons take place in Hyrule, of course, right? So like it would have been really cool to like in as a part of the dungeon, like go outside, like in underwater Hyrule, right? And I think they could have done that. Like at least with like a small part of the dungeon, like and seen a small part of like it's not like a whole overworld or anything, but like gone outside and but maybe just like lore wise, maybe the bubble that you can exist in doesn't extend that far, and maybe like lore wise, if anyone could have gotten into Hyrule just by getting through the Sage temples, maybe that would have undermined the meaning of like the Hyrule Castle portal, um, as well as the Ganon Tower portal, right? Um, so I don't know. Like I guess maybe there's like story reasons. Like I can see why they might have discussed it. And I don't know. Like I know people that have like had questions about like the Earth Temple has windows, and yet it's underwater. Was it meant to was it like meant to be underwater, right? Maybe like the island was gonna be like a bigger like temple like on the island, and it wasn't gonna be like a small little island where you go into a hole, right? Maybe it was gonna be this whole temple like on the island, um, or I don't know. Like there's theories there, right? Because the Earth Temple does have windows, and lore wise, like it's fine because it exists in Hyrule. It's not like the sea is against it, but you can say that like the light, pouring through Hyrule is coming into the Earth Temple, you know, which is a dungeon about like managing light, right? Reflecting it. So anyway, I gotta focus on this boss. Work with me, buddy. Oh, come on. Come on, please, 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 don't hurt me. That sends you so far back, man. This boss, like, it's it's relatively simple, but it's also like it can really knock you back. And if you get sent into the sent off like the stage little platform here, yep, it's like it'll electrocute you if you're there for too long. Yep, yep. So like it's like things are ramping up. This game, I love it, man. Because it does ramp up, right? Like when you replay it, like the beginning is relatively easy. I've struggled with some stuff, but like I'm so excited to like, for the combat to keep ramping up, especially, and we're about to get to a really cool part of the game if you're into more combat. So it's just yeah, like it's just I love this game, man. And this is just such a cool boss. Like this feels like you're battling this ancient god, right? And I think it's intentional that like the name is Gohdan. Like to me, there was always some feeling of like it's this robotic like form of a deity, right? And I know that there's been theories about like is it supposed to be like functionally is it replicating the trial of like Bongo Bongo? If it was made by like the Sheikah, could they have been taken from that? I don't know, and I don't know. Like to me, the aesthetics of like the Tower of the Gods feels so specific that I feel like it was made by its own tribe. Maybe still like within the Hyrulean religion. So it's like there's crossover with the Sheikah and the Zonai because they all, like honor, the same deities. Like they're aware of the Triforce and like, you know, I don't know, like Zelda exists in like there are spiritual realities. It's not just like is there a religion, but like there are spiritual realities, which of course affects the lore because like different religions they may all worship like or recognize in some form Hylia or the Golden Goddesses, or the Triforce, which I think is interesting. That is pervasive across the timeline. Even can I do it? I think this is like the last cycle. I gotta get a shot in. Come on. Let's go. Let's run. I'm scared. Okay. Why am I missing? Do I have to be like still? Okay. Okay. This is our chance. I feel like this is the last one. This is the third time, right? Please. Let's go. We got him. We got him. We got you, buddy. We got him. The path can now be opened. O chosen one, what will now come to pass is tied to your fate, to the path that you have chosen. Go forward with caution. Let's go. Hey, what's happening up there? Hey, yo. Wee. Do I step into the portal? Yay! I love Link celebrating. That's awesome. And there he goes. Like, yeah, I love it. It's like you're not defeating this enemy. This is the one like part of the game where like the goal is more vague, right? You're not directly saving someone by doing this temple. So like it's kind of an outlier. But you are like this is how you restore like I don't know, like you immerse yourself in this ancient temple full of ancient technology and I don't know. It's like you feel like you may not recognize some of the symbology here, but you realize that it's all pointing to a world that like this forgotten old world, right? Like I love that theme, you know, and is leading you back to Hyrule. So this dungeon is kind of the funnel through which you are, through which you return to the past. I don't know. I'm so excited to ring this bell, but that may happen in the next episode. Everyone, thank you so much for watching. I'm so excited to keep playing this game, but I think for now, I'm going to let you go.